Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Don't Take My Word for It. I'm your hostess, Heather, and I'm very happy you could join me. What we're going to do here is I'm going to give you 5 statements, a subject, a historical figure, or an historical event. It's your job to determine whether the statements are true, false, unproven, which means it could just be true, it could be false, we don't know. Or if it's just a load of bullcrap that I made up. So in the comments below, I want you to type the number of the fact that I just gave you. Well, if it's fact number 1, I want you to put a 1 in the comment and then your answer. So true, false, unproven, or bullcrap. If you want to, you can use an emoji. For true, let's go with crown. For false, let's go with fox. For unproven, a question mark. And if you think I just completely made it up, you think it's bullcrap, a bull. The very first subject we're going to go over is Elizabeth I, my very favorite historical figure of all time. So let's dive in and find out a little bit about Elizabeth. Fact 1. Was Elizabeth I a man? That can't be true. Let's find out. The story goes that when Elizabeth was about the age of 10, she got sent away for her health. Apparently, there was an outbreak of the bubonic plague, and she had to be protected. She was one of the daughters of the king, after all, so she got sent away to Bisley. Unfortunately, while she was there, she got sick and died anyways. Well, this panicked her nurse, Cat Ashley, very deeply, because if Henry found out, she was up on the list to be executed, surely. So she needed a plan. What can she do? She looked all around trying to find a girl that looked similar to Elizabeth and was of similar age, but she had no luck. This terrified her. What is she going to do? So she thought, and then she remembered that Elizabeth had a young playmate, a little boy named Neville, and he did have similar looks, and he was of the right age. Maybe she could convince King Henry that the little boy was indeed Elizabeth, and she would be safe. So she found the boy and brought him back and disguised him as Elizabeth. This later became known as the Bisley Boy. So she took Neville, she put a dress on him, made him look as much like as Elizabeth as she could, and then just waited on Henry. When Henry did arrive, he looked at Neville, assumed it was his daughter, felt like everything was fine, and went about on his way. Cat Ashley was very relieved, but then she realized she had to keep this up for the rest of her life, or she was still at risk. Because Henry could decide to execute her at any time. Thankfully, he never got wise, and she got to live on. If you ask me, she deserves an award for the best acting of all time history. But do but what do you think? Was this true, false, unproven, or a load of bullcrap? Fact 2. Princess Ragdoll. This can't be true. How could someone who would be the future Queen of England have gotten so low that she didn't really have any clothes to wear? It can't be true. Unfortunately, it was true. See, Elizabeth's mother, Anne Boleyn, was in a habit of spoiling Princess Elizabeth, buying her the best of everything: a crib, clothing. But when she was executed by Elizabeth's father and her husband, Henry VIII, things got pretty bad for Elizabeth and her household. So bad to the point that her governess at the time, Lady Bryan, had to write a letter in detail of all the things that her household and Elizabeth was lacking. One was food and another was clothing. The poor little girl just grew out of everything. And that's why I was calling her Princess Ragdoll, because she didn't have appropriate clothing to wear anymore. Thankfully, the letter did work and Elizabeth was once again dressed to the nines. Now it's time for you to put your detective hats on and see if you can determine whether this was true, false, unproven, or a load of bullcrap. Fact 3. The royal gift. In 1545, Elizabeth made her father, Henry VIII, a book for his New Year's Eve gift. This book was a translation of her stepmom's book, Prayers of Meditation. In perfect metallic handwriting, she translated prayers and meditations into 3 languages: Latin, Italian, and French. And she gave this beautiful book to her father for New Year's 1946. What do you think? Was that true, false, unproven, or a load of bullcrap? Fact 4. Secret marriage. What? We all know Elizabeth never got married. Or did she? Well, according to some not so trustworthy ladies in waiting, that's just what happened. In May of 1561, Elizabeth married her longtime beau, Robert Dudley. This was so secretive that she didn't even get married in a chapel. Instead, she and Robert got married by a minister in her chambers. The only witnesses to this secret marriage was the minister, the bride and groom, and a select few ladies in waiting. The only problem was these ladies in waiting couldn't hold their tongue, and they let all the juicy little facts spill out, causing chaos and rumors. So on the pain of death, they all had to lie their behinds off and pretend like this never happened. Why don't you be the judge of that? Was this true, false, unproven, or a load of bull crap? Can't wait to see what you respond. Comment below. Fact 5. Jailhouse Blues. That's right, even Elizabeth is not above the law. Back in 1553, when Mary became Queen of England, known as Mary I, there was a sigh of relief. Everyone was very happy, except the Protestants. They were not happy. Well, it turns out that Mary was desperate to make her Protestant country back Catholic. One of the ways to do this is to get married so that then she could have a baby and raise it to be Catholic, and then so the country would remain in Catholic hands, nice and safe. But her subjects didn't see it this way. Not only were they concerned that Mary becoming a wife would make her subservient to her king, it would make England subservient to her king's kingdom, and they didn't want anything to do with that. So this is what started the Wyatt Rebellion. To put down Wyatt's rebellion, Mary took to speaking with her subjects and her council and said, you know, I love my subjects above all. I'm not going to do anything without your consent. England will not be subservient to Spain or anywhere else. This got the people to relax and relent so Mary could get married. Mary now felt it was safe to get married. So she contacted her uncle, Charles, and he suggested she marry his son, Philip of Spain. She thought this was a wonderful idea, and she looked at his photo and she fell in love. To further calm everybody's nerves, her subjects and council, she wrote a lot of bills that would mean that, yes, she would be Philip's wife, but no, he wouldn't have any real power, that everything that he had wanted to do would have to go through her first for approval. And these were put in place to protect her and her people. Mary was just worried about one more thing, Elizabeth. She just believed with her whole heart that Elizabeth was behind the Wyatt's plot. Now, she took care of Wyatt. She had him executed, but Elizabeth was her sister, and at this time, her only heir, so she couldn't execute her. So she sent her to live in the Tower of London, where she stayed for 2 months. But if you ask me, if you gotta be locked up, the Tower of London's not so bad. And eventually Mary decided to release Elizabeth, but when she released Elizabeth, Elizabeth was under house arrest at Hatfield House for about a year. But what do you think? Was this justice for Elizabeth? I'm not so sure. But it does get you thinking. Comment below whether you think this one was true, false, unproven, or a load of bullcrap. Alright, we made it to the end of the video, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you come back next time so you can see all the answers to the facts that we did today. So please like, share, subscribe, and hit your bell icon so that you don't miss out. Bye for now.